Warning, this show contains adult language, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life on your own terms. Today's episode 225, Rubber Tramping Preparedness. We just did 224. You can go back and listen to that. I do have some experience, but I haven't lived in my van or I haven't rubber tramped for like a year straight, but I do have quite a bit of experience. I'd say I've combined, I've probably got about a year. What I wanted to talk about today was the preparedness of it and like things that I noticed when I was traveling, things that I own, things I have in here that I haven't really heard a lot of people who are rubber tramps or van dwellers talk about. So I want to go ahead and talk, and maybe some do, maybe some don't. Maybe you might hear something that you have never heard, a tactic today. So episode, like I said, 225, Rubber Tramping Preparedness. So let's get into it. This is the audio, by the way. I've taken the day off to do some really good, clean audio in the F350 7.3 liter pickup truck. So I hope you guys like the quality of the sound. All right, the very first one I got on my list here is a jumper pack. And I paid about $350 for mine. I can't remember what the name is. I'm not sponsored. We don't have any affiliations with anybody. It's just sponsored by Snoopy Band-Aids, Neosporin, and Keystone Light Beer, and also Kirkland Signature Cabernet Sauvignon red wine. Yeah, a jumper pack. For a lot of you guys don't know, I've got an extra heavy duty one. I would recommend that people get these instead of those little small ones that are like the size of like 4 decks of cards or something, Get yourself one of these big ones, and that way you're able to help other people. Like if somebody if you're driving a diesel and you got 2 batteries, you're gonna need an extra kick to get that thing started. I want to give you guys a quick tip before I forget, that's not in my notes. When you're running solar power like I am, your batteries died, you can literally rewire the back of your solars to, if you had long enough jumper cables, you can jump your car off your battery pack, which I've done, and you're right up out of the way. But it is nice to get one of these jumper packs anyways, because they work as a light. They'll give you like something like 30 charges on your cell phone and stuff like that. I think we're talking preparedness here. So let's just say your batteries did die or something happened with your let's say you got in a car accident, right? And your batteries got smashed in and your solar panel broke and you're sitting there with no electricity. That's when that solar power pack, the jumper pack will come in handy. So to recap, that thing gives you light. It'll recharge your phones. It's got a USB charger and it gives a lot of charges, The other thing I like to say too is that you can charge it off your solar panels if you guys have it. So let's say you jumped your car once or helped somebody out. Go and plug it into your solar panel system in your van, truck, whatever you've got, and recharge that thing. As you're driving down the road with your alternator going in your car, if you don't have a solar panel system, plug it into your cigarette lighter only when you're driving, and that will charge it up for free. It's not going to hurt your batteries. So definitely some education. Next one is tire repair kits. Very first one that I have is a DC pump. It's actually sitting in the back seat under a milk crate here, and I got a fairly large one. Guys, I want you to take in consideration if you're living in a van, even though it's not, you consider it lightweight like a car. When you got all that wood flooring and you got all that stuff, all of your shit you're carrying around with you, that wood bed, you're carrying a lot of weight. So consider that if your tires are, your maximum PSI and your tires are like 65, mine are like 80, that you're going to need to get a DC air compressor that's able to pump that amount of air. So go always larger. You'll be happier in the long run. Because if you ever run into trouble and you can't, take your car jack out. And that's another one I have in here. Get yourself a heavy duty car jack, because all that weight again, lift your tire up, your car up so the tire's off the ground. It's not being compressed by all the weight. That should help to fill up your tire. So if you ever got a flat tire and you need to get out, that's the tips. The other thing is they got these things, these little hole sealers. It looks like a T, like a grip with a prong coming out, and it's got a little rubber piece. So if you were going down the street, say you went over a piece of thin rebar or something and just stabbed a hole in your car, you can literally take this thing, shove it into the tire, do a few twists and pull it out. I forget what they're called. It'll snap out and it'll actually plug that hole in your tire. So you could instantly seal these things off. And again, you can help other people if they were stranded. So I forget what those are called, but get yourself a whole entire tire kit and consider not being stuck. I had a blowout I actually had a blister on the side of my tire one time, and we jacked that thing up. I had a spare tire. It was me and the Mama Strega. We literally got back on the road within like 10 minutes. We were bam, off and gone. DC compressor, I'd like to say too, get yourself a kiddie pool, especially if you're traveling up north or back east or somewhere like that, and you're hanging out by rivers and stuff, and it's cold, that water. Fill up the kiddie pool with your air compressor. Fill it up with water, and you can literally sit in warm water and really chill out. It's like it's not quite a jacuzzi, but you know what I mean. Let it sit in the sun all day. Totally fucking awesome. The next one is snow chains, and I think a lot of people would say, "Well, I'm a what do they call that? Those winter people? They travel back and forth. The fuck do they call them? I hate when I can't remember shit. This fucking brain of mine, man. I guess I got too much shit going on. Snowbirds, I guess. Is that what it is? Anyways, whatever. People that like the end of the summer. You'd say, well, I would never need them. I just go out. And what if your van got broken down? What if you were in Florida, let's say? I guess that's a bad one. Let's just say you were in New York, you know, and you were like, yeah, or Montana, and you're like, yeah, we're just going to head out here before the winter comes. Next thing you know, something very major happens to your car, your van, your truck, whatever, your box truck, whatever you're doing there, your RV. And it takes some repairs. Maybe it may take, like right now, what we have. There's a disruption in the supply chain of microchips, all kinds of parts. I needed an ignition switch for my truck. I can't get it for 30 days. At the end of this month, they said it'd probably be there. So you'd have to be waiting. You can't really hotwire a diesel truck, to my knowledge. I mean, there's some tricks and tips like that, but basically what I'm saying is you don't want to get stuck. You want to fix it right, especially if you're going to be driving around everywhere. So let's just say that your truck took a few weeks to get fixed, and it would just happen to be that time where the snow started hitting. And now you're stuck and you ain't got snow chains. I actually prefer cables more to chains myself, but you see what I'm saying? It doesn't take up a lot of space. I know when you're living in a van, but those are kind of things that you might want to consider taking, and that way you're not stuck. So next is my folding shovel. This is one of those army shovels. It folds up into literally probably like a 6 by 6 inch square. Why would you consider one of these? First of all, it's pretty fucking cool to dig your kid a sand pit when you're at the beach with it. You know, and it works. I dug ourselves a latrine. We go camping way out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no bathrooms, there's no nothing, and I'm not about to carry a porta potty. So basically, we use biodegradable bags. I like to just squat right over the hole, you know, and I'll take it behind some bushes, but I'll dig myself a nice good hole about as deep as a 5-gallon bucket, as deep as I could take it. And that's where we go. You go poop, you go pee. My kids pee in a bucket. If it's late at nighttime, I dump that into the hole. Before we leave, I'll put a bunch of rocks and stuff in it and gravel and just dirt and kind of cover it all up. Rinse my bucket out. Pee is, yes, dirty. If you rinse it out in the river or something every day, you should be safe. I actually I bring hand sanitizer. I got a big giant 1/2 gallon. I have special needs kids, so I got to wash my hands and stuff like that. So after changing diapers, so I'll just take a little bit of that on a piece of toilet paper, a little square, and I'll just rub the whole inside, you know, if I feel like I want to sanitize it. So yeah, but the shovel, I got stuck. I went to the beach and I started backing out. I started driving forward, that's right, and it got really sandy, and all that weight and everything in here, and all the next thing I know, what, and I just stopped. I know that I compacted the sand as I started to drive. I just hit a little pocket. I instantly stopped, and as the truck sunk maybe about 3-4 inches from me figuring out, see if I can get out of it, what I did is I went in the back with my shovel and had to clear out the sand down where it was packed, and I just backed out the way, looking in my mirror, following my own tracks, backed out of that area and just got out of it. I could have easily just bogged my truck, which I've done before, and had to get towed out. So get yourself a shovel, folding shovel. It definitely can save. You can use it as a defense weapon. You can use it for many, many things. Heating up your tortillas, you can put it over a fire. No, I'm just kidding. Some of them have little saws on the side and stuff like that. Really, really cool. And as I said, you can help out others. Next is going to be extra car repair parts. These are things, I don't have time to go into all of them. Would definitely familiarize yourself with like your car batteries. For a lot of you don't know, car batteries only last about 5 years. So if you're getting close to that and you're going to go travel around, you might want to consider staying close to a city. But some things we can't find, like serpentine belts. That's the belt that goes around your alternator and your water pump and stuff like that. I have one continuous one. I just buy one, conveniently stick it in my back seat, and I just save it there. My truck has, what are we on? Like 233, I'm going to turn it on right now. My truck's got 235,000 miles on it. And yes, it's a diesel and this thing's like halfway even broken in. The problem is though, is a lot of those rubbers get tired. And when you're staying in places such as like Arizona or even traveling through, the heat just starts to dehydrate everything. If you're in a place like Florida, all the humidity and stuff like that can wear on parts. So you want to keep gaskets and like a serpentine belt. I like to always check my hoses, but the hoses that go to the radiator, they're very small. Just get yourself a couple. You're going to use them anyways, right? A lot of stuff we share on the show is stuff that we're going to do anyways. So buy yourself a couple of those in case you ever blew, a gasket or something, or a radiator hose or something. Got anything that you can use around your car. I'm trying to think here. I guess we don't have enough time to go in it. I just wanted to get you guys wet your whistle on stuff like that. Make sure, I know it's got to be common sense, but I'll just say it anyways. You guys need your brake fluids, power steering fluid, an extra quart of oil or two, things like that, a terminal cleaner, battery terminal cleaner. Keep yourself some baking soda so you can make baking soda and water to clean your terminals regularly. And I would definitely say, if I didn't put it in here, is definitely a toolkit with wrenches. Definitely wrenches and sockets. Don't think that you just get by with sockets. Sometimes you need a wrench to get in some little places. My next one is Inreach Mini. And again, this is a company, and I'm not sponsored by anybody other than Kirkland Sauvignon, Cabernet Sauvignon in the evenings. A nice hefty glass of that. But yeah, Inreach Mini it's a satellite phone. This is more of a pager. And this is something that you can take all the way out in Antarctica, or if you're in the middle of the ocean, it's basically an SOS. If you guys are boondocking way out, maybe you'd say that I wouldn't need that, But let's just say that you went for a hike with your dog, and or you're like me, you wanted to travel away from everybody because you wanted privacy. And let's just say you busted your leg, and let's just say you fell down some rocks or something and you crushed your cell phone, right? Keep that Inreach, and you couldn't call out for help. There's nobody around. Last case scenario, hit that Inreach thing, and you will have people there. They can identify your location with a 100-foot perimeter if you were stuck. I forget how much it costs. It's only a one-time cost to actually buy the apparatus, but you guys you'll have to pay for it to have it it turned on like a cell phone basically. So think about one of those. You never know, man. It's especially that one. I think it's one of the most important. If anybody's going to go hiking, like I like to let my kid just disappear in the mountain, like go far. Take that with you. If you're not back by dark, something happens to you, hit that button. Let me know where you're at and everything. So it's just a good thing to have. There's so much I think that would be good to have, walkie-talkies and stuff like that. But we're trying to get the big ones that I can think of. And the next one's a water purifier. Get your guys something like a gravity-fed one. There's like Berkey water filters. There's like little pump ones. I have two. I have one in my house and I have one in my truck. It's just a small canister. And you literally is 99.9% safety of filtering out Giardia and stuff like that. So you can literally go to a river or a lake and pump this water out, or take a bucket of water and put it in one of these gravity-fed systems. And some of them are very small. It's like a half-gallon one, right? So you can go anywhere and just pour that water in that, not just anywhere. You ain't going to just raw sewage, But if you ever got stuck someplace, I like them because they filter out a lot of the chloramine and chlorine and stuff like that, even in tap water. So even if you're not, get yourself like a gallon one that you can fill up at the gas station. A lot of people are pretty cool. I have a 20-gallon DIY water system that's made out of black ABS pipe that goes on top of my truck. And when we run out of water, I just ask the people, hey, do you mind if I hook up my water hose real quick just to fill up my tank? They're like, oh yeah, especially when you get out of the big fucking cities, where people are assholes, especially, Los Angeles, those armpits. Get out in the country, there's a lot of cool people. So yeah, but get yourself a water purifier. The other one I want to say is the old-fashioned paper maps. This is preparedness, right? What if something happened where the cell towers went down? The only reason I'm saying all this is, look, we got hacked. The whole oil pipeline got hacked, got completely shut down. What if for some reason Verizon just went down, or AT&T's, they got hacked, right? It's not really that, we're not sitting here saying to freak the fuck out, but I think that if there was a big earthquake or something happened in your area, or even in anywhere, it's just generally good to have a paper map, maybe a big one of the United States, and a couple of them that go really large, and maybe another one that kind of shows you all. I'd get one really if I was van living, and I'd get it where it has all the highways and everything like that. And It'd be nice to have a topographical map there too, so you can know where you're driving. If you're towing a trailer, if you have to go up big hills, where would be the least likely, the easiest path of resistance. So paper maps, they don't take up a lot of space. Just get one, maybe laminate it in some plastic or put it in a Ziploc bag and just keep it someplace, just in case. My next one is Foraging Books. Books on foraging, and also basically education. I think it's fun anyways, as we were talking about in episode, 224, was that was one of the cons I saw was getting your own food and stuff like that. It's, while you're driving to buy organic food and things like that. But if you're able to forage, now you're able to go kind of get some chanterelle mushrooms and some morel mushrooms, which I think I have growing oddly enough here in San Diego. I got pictures of them. I just haven't posted them yet. But learn to forage. Just blueberries, blackberries, salmon berries, all kinds of different berries and stuff like that. There's, cool shit like cattail. Cattail has like 4 different edible parts. You can eat the roots, the bulb. You can eat the tops when they're green. They actually taste kind of sweet, at least the roots. Wildflowers, and that's where the artichoke actually came from. For those of you who don't know, milk thistle, that purple little flower, to my knowledge, if my brain serves me correctly, they actually bred artichokes off of those. So each one of those little milk thistles, a little purple one, it's going to be tiny, the size of a quarter, but that's an artichoke heart. So you guys can go forage and just learn to do stuff like that. I think it's just fun, and it's good if shit ever hit the fan and you were kind of broken down. But don't get healthier and cheaper than foraging. Fishing and hunting, that's actually one of my notes I don't have on here. I would love to get a 22 long rifle and keep it in my truck with plenty of that. The ammunition's cheap. I mean, you can really take down, what was it? That's right. What's that movie called? Into the Wild. I believe when I read that book, like 20 years ago or so, like he took down a moose with a 22 long. So you can really, in a bad situation, it's not legal, I wouldn't think. I don't know. I don't really hunt that much at all. So, but in a worst case scenario, it's good to defend yourself. Somebody's got, it's very accurate. It's not quite, it doesn't reach out there as far and as accurate as, say, a 30-06 or something, the big bullet. But I mean, definitely you can use it to defend yourself. You can use it to hunt. If it's fun to shoot for target practice, and it's just good for maintenance for survival if you had to. The next one, speaking of survival, is a survival book. I've got one here in my back seat, and I bought one for my daughter. And these survival books, it's an all around, I think it's called SAS Survival. It's all around, teaches you about poisonous plants and how to stop arteries from bleeding out and how to deliver a baby, how to forage, how to hunt, how to build structures, how to survive in like a city, how to survive in the jungle and the ocean. And they're just really kind of cool to if you're into that sort of thing. Even if you're not, I think at times you would need it. Like somebody got cut. Well, one cool thing is they show like a human body, and they have X's at where all the major arteries at. So if somebody got cut in the leg, there's an area where you can crimp that. You never know when things like that could happen, but just cool stuff of how to forage, how to make a little wood stove, for yourself. So it's kind of fun. I think it's very educating. And the last thing I'll say about that is that it's very empowering. My daughter knows how to start a fire from scratch. And as she said, it just makes me feel good. I know I may never have to use flint to start a fire. I may never have to make wood shavings and collect all these things and hit rocks together. But knowing that I know how to do that makes me feel so much more confident in life with other things. So yeah, that's the show, guys. If I brought you guys any value, please like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, middle finger. My voice is starting to go out. We've been podcasting all day. upandinitshow@gmail.com. Message me. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. I like to do these shows longer, but I'm just waiting to see if we have subscribers and stuff like that. If the show's even going to take some momentum, unless my potty mouth's fucking everything up. I don't know. But we are working on the Resilient Living podcast, and that's going to be a complete family-oriented one. We've got about 5 recorded right now. We just got to get the website and everything built. So, yeah, you guys like the sort of thing, check it out on TikTok, Instagram, which I've been posting, going live on Instagram lately, early in the mornings. You guys got Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere where they'll let me do the podcasts. So as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. If my voice don't go out. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire, Barry White. Live it. Human up. Live it, love it, own it. and bone it, my friends.